We are back now on the Chip Shot Football Podcast here to dive into this fascinating quote that I had to share with you guys today, revolving around this matchup between the Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. And two teams in the Packers and the Vikings that have been impressing a lot so far through the first 3 weeks of the NFL season for a few reasons, right? You look at the Minnesota Vikings first, still obviously undefeated. Sam Darnold, a revelation story this year in the NFL. The defense also, likewise, another revelation for how well they're playing, how well they're being coached by Brian Flores. And the win, back-to-back wins, I should say, against Houston and against the 49ers. Back-to-back weeks at home, having two of the best contending teams playing against them and playing very well against them, both on offense and defense, have really impressed me. I'm jumping on the Minnesota Vikings bandwagon as a believer in them, that they can do something special this year, barring any major season-ending injuries or anything like that. I like the makeup of their roster, I really do. And the Packers, likewise, very impressive on the other side because they're 2-1 despite the loss of Jordan Love right in Week 1. Luckily, it was only sort of a short-term injury. You know, he's missed a couple games now, but it could have been much worse with that knee injury. So they went 2-1 despite that. So that's very encouraging. Their game planning and their schemes with how they use Malik Willis, you know, getting the best out of him, making him look like better than some of the starting quarterbacks we've seen at some points this year. I think that's a credit to Matt LaFleur, their offensive, scheme and everything that they run with him, being able to adjust to what Malik Willis does right. I love that. I love that the Packers are able to do that. And again, it just goes to show more about them and their capabilities on that side with the coaching and whatnot. These two teams are very alike in a way because of the coaching, the offensive-minded coaching, and how well they're approaching and how well they're performing so well in the season. So that's why this matchup this week is going to be great, I think, because of all those reasons I mentioned. But also you have Aaron Jones coming back and facing his old team in Lambeau Field. Both are looking good, but also because another matchup that I would love to see, and I'm very eager to watch it, is going to be between Justin Jefferson and Jair Alexander. Both have had great performances against the other one. Jair didn't play last year, plus Justin Jefferson also missed a lot of time with his injury, so that's the main reason we didn't get to see it that much last year. But it goes back to 2022 because the first time they matched up, Justin Jefferson had 184 yards with 2 touchdowns, which is insane. In their first matchup, then Jair got back at him in their second matchup where he only had 15 receiving yards. So, each one of them has had their victories, their battle victories. The war continues on. And I love this quote by Justin Jefferson. I'm not being hypocritical or anything. I know I've been critical of Cam Taylor-Britt and what he's had to say ahead of games and how I haven't been a fan of that, which I'm not. But I think the way that Cam Taylor-Britt approached it kind of talked down about the opposition, whereas Justin Jefferson in this quote, if I could get it up, here we go. If Justin Jefferson, if you look at it, the difference here is he's kind of just backing himself, confidence in himself. He's not really saying Jair's trash or anything. Looking at this comment by Justin Jefferson this week, when they asked him about Jair Alexander, trying to get him riled up and trying to get in his head, he said he likes to do that stuff to get inside someone's head. I'm not really tripping on that. I'm going to just get my Griddy in his end zone, so I'm not tripping on it at all. I'm excited for the matchup, and he also mentioned afterwards that he feels that Jair cares about this matchup more than he does, ultimately is what he said. And it's not anything like before referencing Cam Taylor-Britt. It's not like he called Jair trash. It's not like he said the Packers, like he's just going to destroy the Packers. He just simply said he's back in himself. He's not really worried about what Jair's trying to do outside of just playing football. I have no problem when it's to this level, right? Just backing yourself, that's no problem with two competitors backing each other, backing themselves up. So I love this quote for that reason, and also for all the offense that will be present with Justin Jefferson, obviously, with Aaron Jones. Jordan Addison is supposed to play this week for the Minnesota Vikings. And then on the other side, you look at the Packers with Josh Jacobs, Christian Watson, Jalen Reed, Jordan Love potentially if he plays, Sam Darnold, I'll throw him in as well. There's a lot of firepower in this game, but also on the defensive side of the ball is very impressive as well. You look at Brian Flores, I keep mentioning him because of how well he's got this defense playing schematically and the players that they have as well. I love Stephon Gilmore being added to this secondary. Jonathan Grenard had a great year last year. He gets his bag, and now he's producing yet again. I love Dallas Turner being drafted here to kind of pair up with Jonathan Grenard. So they got these sort of guys, the Alex Van Ginkels, the Blake Cashmans of the world, to really make a solid defense for Brian Flores and give a lot of people trouble. And on the other side as well, the Packers too have shown very good defensive performances as well. And that's where I think this defense, the defensive side of the ball in this matchup for how evenly balanced they are, I think that side is going to be more significant in this game in determining a winner for a couple of reasons, right? You look at Green Bay's defense and how they produce turnovers. They produced a couple against Philadelphia. They completely shut down and frustrated Indianapolis with their young quarterback throwing 3 interceptions. They only gave up like 10 points in that game. And also just last week against the Titans, you have 2 interceptions again off of Will Levis. He fumbled. They recovered the ball. So they're forcing turnovers right now. Both defenses and offenses are playing at a very high level, and it makes for this matchup to be so good. I believe the NFC North is going to be such a great division this year. If the Bears can pick it up a little bit, that would be great. But regardless of that, the Lions, the Packers, the Vikings, and how well they've looked. That's why I believe this matchup, this game is going to be one of the best games of the week, along with Buffalo and the Ravens, if you want to throw that in there. But I really think that this game is going to have a lot based on the reasons and the storylines that I just kind of gave out. But the defense is really what stands out to me. Whether or not Jair can sort of get in Justin Jefferson's head and rile him up, take him out of the game, then what does Sam Darnold do from that point on? Does he have another option to go to? How much is Jordan Addison, involved in this game? He had a great rookie year, has been out of the lineup so far with an ankle injury. So will he be able to step up? And who do I ultimately give the edge to? Because it's very evenly matched and it makes for an even better contest. But to me right now, I'd give a slight edge, like I said before, to Minnesota, because I believe we'll see Malik Willis, if he is playing, struggle for the first time against Brian Flores. And I know Jordan Love has a potential to play in this game. I would love to see him play. I'd love to see the Packers get back to 100%, but I don't know if they're willing to risk him yet. I don't know how capable he is right now with being close to 100% or being close to kind of protecting himself from any sort of re-aggravation of that injury. So I wouldn't be too surprised if Malik Willis starts again. And because of that, I believe we're going to see the same sort of struggles and the same sort of, pauses from CJ Stroud like we saw last week with CJ Stroud this week with Malik Willis when I expect him to play, because of the fact that Brian Flores, I think he's going to throw so many different looks and so many just different scenarios and coverages and everything at Malik Willis. I think we're going to see him struggle for the first time, because against the Colts, he was all right. He had a great rushing game. They had a great rushing game overall. But in the second game, he played very well, making some good throws to the Packers wide receivers. But in this one, I think it's a different sort of game now, where we're talking more about the mental side, the studying, the game planning side of things, that I just don't know Malik Willis has enough exposure to those sort of things to have another great performance. That would be my biggest thought and my biggest doubt with Malik and the Packers in this game. I feel like it is going to cost them ultimately, and with how well the Vikings are playing on offense, and obviously I just mentioned the defense as well. I'd like to give the slight edge to them in this one. I'm pretty sure I picked them to win in yesterday's part 1 of the game picks anyway, so just to come on here and explain it a little bit more, this comment on your screen kind of had me thinking about, how evenly matched these two teams are, and how, oddly enough, it's going to be coming down to the defense and how significant either of these teams playing on defense is going to make the overall difference in this game. So those are my feelings on it. I love this sort of trash talk. I think it makes it even better, and we're going to see on Sunday who comes to play and who's ready to kind of back up that talk in the matchup, the first NFC North matchup for the Green Bay Packers. But with that being the case, we'll leave that there. We have one more topic to get to, just a last-minute injury roundup for you guys. If any fantasy implications are applied here or just your teams and how their best players are looking, we're going to go through that in just a couple seconds right after this break.